Now, an Eyewitness News investigation about slavery. It's an ugly part of our history here in the American South. Most of you think it went away after the Civil War. But we've discovered people across North Carolina are working to free modern-day slaves. As you'll see, though, their work does not come without some concerns. They look like pictures from another era. Slaves freed from their masters, celebrating a new life. But these are slaves of the new millennium, tortured and abused and mutilated.
You would have to have a heart made of stone not to have compassion.
The Reverend Joseph Jackson is a pastor in the Johnston County town of Kenly. He's been deeply touched by these images from Sudan.
If I was ignorant of what was going on, then I could go about my life and say, well, okay, oh, slavery, yeah. But I know, I've seen. Now, my Lord says, I'm responsible. I must help. I must do everything I can.
Reverend Jackson has joined school children and church groups from the Immaculata School in Durham, Covenant Church in Raleigh, and many others across North Carolina in sending money to Christian Solidarity International in California. From this office, CSI sends donations to its man on the ground in Sudan, John Eibner. He's a modern-day abolitionist, an American who has dedicated his life to freeing the slaves. Sudan is located on the other side of the world. For 20 years, it's been mired in a bloody civil war. The ruling Islamic government sends its soldiers to snatch Christian villagers in the south and sends them to Arab slave masters in the north. But donations from people in the U.S. have helped free nearly 74,000 slaves. Slaves like Ateng Akwe.
I was put on a farm belonging to an Arab and was gang raped by many people. They destroyed my human dignity.
Tommy Calvert is with a group affiliated with CSI called American Anti-Slavery Group. We spoke with him from Boston.
There is a fundamentalist Taliban-like regime who is controlling Sudan in the north, and they have enslaved them as a terror tactic.
Tommy just returned from Sudan on a mission to free enslaved women and children.
You realize that these are people, and they're just like you, and this could be you, and that's why you fight for their freedom.
But some aspects of the practice, called slave redemption, have been questioned by critics. Are you concerned that money raised here in America that you take to the Sudan to free the slaves is then funding a radical Islamic government?
Sure, everyone would have to be concerned because that is who has been enslaving these people. But I work on evidence. I work on proof, and the proof doesn't dictate that that is the case.
Some people are concerned the slave buyback program encourages more slave taking. Tommy Calvert says the evidence does not support that notion. How do you guard against a revolving door of slavery, someone being freed and then taken into bondage again?
Well, in war, there is no absolute guarantee. What we do is fingerprint every person who comes through the program. We take a digital picture of every person. We document every story.
In Johnston County, Reverend Jackson is convinced his fundraising will help put an end to these heartbreaking scenes of modern-day slavery.
I know that that money is helping there. I know that if I can free one person, everything that we do is worthwhile then.
It costs between $50 and $100 to free a single slave. Last year, CSI raised about $800,000 from people all around the world. If you'd like more information about the groups we mentioned, you can log on to our website, abc11tv.com.